my name is Katie Jones.
And my name is Elise Wittenberg.
And here's our project, the M.I.N.D Room. Acronym the M.I.N.D Room stands for Mental Health is Never Disregarded. We came up with this acronym because both me and Elise struggled with emotional issues when we were younger. We want to make sure that no student or child ever has to go through an experience where they were alone in emotional needs. And being never disregarded is a big part of that. First, I'd like to show you our table of contents, which includes everything we're going to be discussing throughout our project. And next, our planning process worksheet. In our planning process worksheet, we describe our concerns. And our concern is the decreasing mental health of teenagers in high school. This really stood out to us because both of us struggled with it. We wanted to make sure that students had an environment in their school where they could approach their mental health issues. Our goal was to change this through the creation of a room described in detail later on. And our plan began with finding research and support for our goal. First, we contacted FCCLA leaders and set up meetings with our potential partnerships.
To act on this plan, we met with our principal and emailed our counselor and received more information and support from our school. To follow up, we could have improved and furthered this project in many ways mentioned throughout our presentation.
Next, we have our evidence of our online project summary submission. Next, we have our local mental health policy. Friendswood ISD's website states for the year 2019-2020 that each campus has a full-time nurse who supports the physical, mental, and emotional health of all students. This is too much responsibility for just a nurse, and we have counselors who are more certified for this responsibility.
Our issue type was created from our concerns in our planning process worksheet and says, students on campus are not getting the emotional support they need and counselors need a more prominent role in fixing this. This issue can be seen on many levels, but needs to be addressed at a national one. Research we found during the process of forming our plan says 50% of mental health issues are established by the age of 14 and 75% by the age of 24. This is why we need to treat this when they are in high school.
Also, more than 25% of youth with ADHD repeat a grade. The M.I.N.D Room is not only for those with emotional problems, but with intellectual ones too. It's not fair that students with ADHD do not have a place where they can escape from their issues and just have a secluded place to recollect themselves.
Some more research states 15% of homes in the U.S. are reported unstable. Because of these unstable homes in the U.S., their attention in school can be affected greatly. Giving them a safe and comfortable place to talk would make these students feel more secure.
Also, one of our concerns was up to 15% of American children are chronically absent from their school due to skipping class. We wanted to make sure that students wouldn't use the M.I.N.D Room for just another place to skip class. So we have a document for the students to fill out, and here's an exact copy of what the students will be receiving on the next slide.
If you look at this graph, you can see the fast increase in depression during the teen years, which is our target audience, rather than any other group.
Next, we have our project goals, which are stated more specifically. We know that given the preceding statistics, we need to address this problem during high school. We want to give students a place to talk about their concerns and have an outlet, especially for students who do not have this available to them outside of school.
We want to involve the counselors in mental health counseling and be more interactive with struggling students rather than just being there for schedule issues. Another goal of ours is to decrease the amount of teen suicides and improve students' difficult and stressful lives. Way too many teens with mood disorders attempt or even succeed in taking their lives. Most of them simply had nobody to talk to. Giving them a free, private outlet where they feel comfortable and safe could change their lives. It's just that simple. 4 of our national level potential partnerships are the Lucille Packard Children's Hospital, the National Institution of Mental Health, American Mental Health Counselors Association, and the Positive Education Program.
Some more potential partnerships that we did reach out to in our school area was that the school administration helped us get in contact with our FISD school board, who also contacted our FHS librarian. More about our target audience is that we target teens with minor to severe mental health struggles, or any teen that is going through a rough time or just has a bad day.
We also target any student that feels they are overwhelmed or upset and just needs to recollect themselves.
More about our target audience is that past opinions and actions of the Friendswood High School mental and emotional health was simply noted in a nurse's description, who has little to no qualification in that field. We discussed with the nurse what her opinion was on this project, and she said it was absolutely necessary because little to no students come to her with these emotional issues.
Students' opinions told us that they were uncomfortable with addressing these issues with their nurse and agreed she was only there for their medical needs because this is what she was certified for.
Some of our methods of action included a discussion with Abigail Kinnard on January 14th through email. She's our head counselor for all mental health problems for the entire district. We emailed her and discussed the plan for the M.I.N.D room and how we could involve her in it. She followed up by emailing us more statistics and more information about our school's counseling system.
We also had a discussion with our principal, Mark Griffon, on February 3rd. We met with him, and after showing him our Leave Behind page and explaining the project in detail, he told us that this was a great idea, and all he needed to do was to find a space and work on counselor shifts so he could make this happen.
Some results of our advocacy, as mentioned in our planning process worksheet, is that the most frequent concern of our target audience was the fact that they wouldn't have time or they would be too busy for their issues. Creating a M.I.N.D room would finally give students the opportunity to feel safe, comfortable, and have a space where they could go for a few minutes a day to recollect themselves.
After talking with students and administration, they showed support in our plan to legitimize the M.I.N.D room.
A result of our advocacy, or another follow-up, would be that one way we could have spread the word about the M.I.N.D room would have been to share it through our school's daily announcement program, which we are planning to do in the next following school year.
Because of our target audience, we knew the best way to involve the media was to create an Instagram account, shown on the next slide, that has the following information.
Our Instagram account has a detailed description or summary of our idea and our plan for this room. We also have a detailed slide about our acronym and more information of how to seek help. Our elevator speech states, "The M.I.N.D room is a room created in a high school for students to have the opportunity to have an outlet to talk, to cry, or to be themselves. Having this will help students focus more throughout the school day and help day-to-day anxiety, depression, or anything else students are struggling with. Creating the space for students will ensure that students will never have to deal with these issues by themselves. Counselors will be present to supervise, listen, and help students in the M.I.N.D room." We also shared this elevator speech with many of our potential partnerships and as many students as we could. This is our Leave Behind document, which will be left with anyone interested in knowing more details of the M.I.N.D room. Finally, we have our cited sources. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.